Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us for one of their side's live chats with a nominated skater. And today we've got Dave Trivett, who's known to a lot of people in Melbourne and also the skate collecting scene. And we're just going to have a bit of a chat today with him. So welcome, Dave. Thanks for taking part.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yeah,
Thanks
you've been nominated by Skip last week.
Thanks, Skip.
Yeah, thanks for dobbing in,
Good bloke.
Skip. Yeah, good on you. Dave, so we are very lucky to be sitting in your awesome man cave around all of your boards, etc. Quite a lot of history on the walls here. How did you get into skateboarding?
Early days would have been through my dad. 3-4 years old. He was a surfer, and he was pretty sort of hooked up with that Torquay crew. And as he got older, started his business sort of around that surf culture business, and they all kind of looked after each other. And we used to go down to Torquay and Geelong and that a fair bit as kids, and catch up with all his surfing mates and along the way, and pretty much all of them would have a skateboard in the garage, like an old little fiberglass dicky board or something, and they'd be all carrying on having beers and doing what they do, and I'd be out in their shed looking for the board and trying to bomb down the hills, just around Torquay, and that
Bit
was
of coffin runs.
we were 4 or 5 years old,
Yeah.
and that was the first sort of skating for me.
Okay, and that was sort of like your initial period that you started having a go.
Yeah,
at
that's
it.
early. That's
Yeah.
like start of primary school sort of stuff. Just trying to roll down hills and
Having
finding
fun on
boards.
your bike and all
just
sorts of stuff?
yeah.
Yeah.
The old surfers had the boards, so.
And how did it progress from there? How did you get into skating a bit further from there?
Well, from there, the skateboard scene kind of took off, like the surfing scene did in the 70s.
Yep.
The skate scene did the similar thing in the
What
80s.
period are we talking about? 80s? You're talking early 80s?
Oh yeah, early 80s when it sort of all started taking off. Similar hookups sort of with the old man. He was doing stuff for the skate scene then. And
Which skate scene in particular, like, was it?
just, it was more the hardcore guys,
Okay,
Peter
so
and Stephen
hardcore.
Hill and those guys,
Yep.
when they were sort of taking off at the start of it all.
Good place to be. For
It
you.
was a good place,
Yeah.
So, through that, they had the ramp right comps and things.
Yep.
So, I'd go to Torquay for the ramp right comps as a little dude, and before the comp would be on, like all the skaters that were there would be out the back at Rip Curl, just chilling out the back there, and you'd get to hang out there with them, and then go down to the comp and stay in the compound for the whole comps and up on down. It's like the
Did you
greatest
have a
days
bit
of
of
my
a
life.
back sort of VIP access because
Yeah,
was involved? So you're a bit
there was
closer
that. So you were kind of in. You got to cruise around and be amongst it.
What do you remember from that?
I was just talking to, because I idolised them all, like most 80 skaters, and just to be there with those guys and standing on the ramp with Hawk and Hosoi, and just even them taking out 2 minutes at a time to even talk to you.
Yeah,
it was just like, you couldn't believe it, mate. Starstruck.
Yeah.
It was like, and honestly, back then, like ramp ride, they were some of the best days I ever had in my life.
Yeah, for sure. I think in the first ramp ride, I don't know who's got pictures. It might be Al Miller or someone, or Heath. Might be Heath Warner. He's got some pictures on the deck there at the top.
Yeah.
So you were there on the deck.
Yeah, like
right?
up and down, just sort of
Yeah.
sitting around in the compound the
Yeah.
whole time, and
I was one of those poor fuckers that was over
on the other
roof.
side of the fence.
On
yeah.
the roof. No, on the
Yeah.
roof.
Oh, on the
On
roof.
the roof, yeah. I
Yeah.
climbed up on the roof of the
Yeah,
must have
Rip
been
Curl or
Quicksilver
something.
or
Yeah.
But still stoked.
Yeah,
that I was
yeah.
totally there.
Yeah, it was good times.
That's good. And so, what sort of skating were you doing back then?
It was all vert.
Yeah.
Like, we had a vert ramp at Moorabbin that was next to, probably 15-minute skate from my house to the ramp, and sort of from, grade 4
Oh wow. That's young.
onwards, just
Yeah.
every day there, just
Yeah.
every day.
Okay. And who were some of the crew that do you know any people that skated there then that you know now still?
Yeah, there was no one sort of fantastic that skated there.
Yeah.
Like that's, all the crazy guys, they were up at Paran, because there was only a few ramps. There was sort of Spotty, Paran,
Morty Alec.
Moorabbin, Morty Alec, yeah. And yeah, we just skate that every day, and yeah, that was about. Every now and then pros would come down, you'd have Tuss and that'd come down every now and then and skate it, but generally it was pretty mellow ramp. And
So which ramp was this? Yours was
Moorabbin.
at Moorabbin.
Yeah,
So you
that's where they just built that new skate park at Bentley.
Oh yeah, right.
But it was just off to the side of there, where the car park is.
Yeah.
So
So when was your heyday? Like when was the time where you sort of skated the most, or the most enjoyable skate period for you?
Oh, the most enjoyable was sort of when I started work at Hardcore.
Yep.
But prior to that, I was always working around those guys' sort of companies and things. But once I got to Hardcore, it was
Hardcore.
It was hardcore. well, you just go there every day. You'd go to work, and all these people would come. You know what I mean? So it's like.
So what were you doing there? What were you doing at Hardcore?
Oh, it was weird. Well, Hardcore was a weird place because when I started there, it was kind of for the skaters.
Yeah.
But then it turned around, sort of, after a few years, it got corporate, and the Hills kind of stepped back a bit. They put a CEO in, and he had his little CEO ways of, and then they moved from sort of where they were to a bigger place, and we all had to sign waivers to skate, and they sort of stopped. Just the sessions, the Arvo sessions, people weren't allowed to skate, so that kind of killed that off a little bit.
So before it got all corporate and stuff, what were the Arvo sessions like? Who was there?
Good.
What was the
whoever was there in the country at the time would be there.
Right.
Like travelling pros and just heaps of. The main guys was like you got a lot of Jason Ellis and Tuss and Ben because he was around at that time.
Yeah.
And Dom. All the other guys,
That's good.
all the usual suspects, But the standard of skating was insane. Like
right.
when Ben got back from the States, like what he was doing, I'm meant to be at work. I'm just standing on the ramp going,
Yeah, right, okay.
fucking how good's this,
And so not everyone could go there and skate it.
No, but if you knew people and that, and there's a private ramp, it's like any private ramp.
Yeah.
You know people, you can come in, you could ride it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you weren't a total dick, you could blag your way in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it was like that.
Sort of, it was important who you kind of knew.
Yeah, you'd have to know someone or to go there. It's just but that was good times. Like they bring you up, you get better.
Yeah.
Like the standards high, and that were the best days.
So you feel like that being there the whole time and seeing those guys was kind of urging you on to skate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you would skate that
and people would help. Everyone would help you out and tell you what you're doing wrong, and it was. So you improve fast in that environment.
Yeah, of course. And at Hardcore Ramp, then how much time would you spend there?
Pretty
you
much.
were working there.
Yeah, I was working there, but lunchtime in the morning, we'd skate. We'd get there at 5 o'clock and do weird gym sessions, mate, because we had our little team and. Yeah, it was
the morning.
Yeah.
You get there.
Steve Douglas in the gym.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. And then, how did that all kind of play out? That whole kind of scene where you were skating there.
It was good. It was good, and this is before they moved from where they were in Richmond over to where they are now in Port Melbourne.
Yep.
And it had a real skater base. It was kind of almost, the respect for the skaters.
Yeah.
Like the Hills had respect for the skaters, and
it was a little bit of a training camp.
Yeah, it was.
Well.
It was. Yeah. It was good. It was a good little scene.
Then it changed when it moved.
Changed when it moved.
Before it moved.
Well, it was changing before. Yeah, you know what I mean. They got the CEO in, and it turned into more of a workplace.
Turned more of a workplace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a bit more official. You had to sign the waivers.
Yeah, waivers.
Well, less crew able to come across then, or?
Well, you used to have all the boys like, all the blank guys and whoever the good street skaters were down at the sales, and I'd come out at 3 o'clock and there'd be 15, 20 dudes there,
okay.
and that sort of dissolved.
Yeah.
When it went corporate.
So we're talking about the same sort of time period where Vert was in, and then it went to street?
Nah, the street comps were on, what I mean? Like around the time when they were having World Cup and they were setting up those street courses and, handrails and things. Vert was doing what Vert did at that time.
After it went, it was still kicking.
It was in the middle of sort of going,
yeah, okay. So, it was dying slowly.
Yeah.
Okay. And back on that ramp at the hardcore ramp, best trick?
Oh, watching Ben Pappas just belt out like 8-foot heel flip 540s when no one was doing them. And you just stand there going, what did I just see?
Yeah,
like,
wow.
The best stuff goes down when the camera's off.
Okay.
Because there's no pressure. It's just,
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? They just, yeah, it was good.
What about your best trick
Oh, my best trick.
back then?
On the vert. I don't know. It's just big backside mutes and
Cool.
things like that. Nothing real flash, you know.
No, we were having an interesting chat just before about how you got into collecting and how you got into skating.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got a room full of boards here, amazing kind of boards, and you were telling me how you think the collecting thing started with you.
The bug.
Yeah, the bug.
Well, it's it's funny. When all my mates had boards,
Yeah.
my parents didn't really support this. They just looked at skateboarding because you come in, you just covered in blood and sores and this and that, and so they weren't into it. They were trying to talk me out of it, and they wouldn't buy me a board,
Yeah.
you know. And all I wanted was a board. So my mates got together and sort of threw together a pretty crappy board, but I could roll with them, you know, and I loved it. And then eventually, I think I saved up $45 and went down to Melbourne Surf and bought a second-hand, the downstairs bit there, bought a second-hand stub, and that was like precious to me. So anything skate I could get, and that was even when I was...
What sort of stub was it?
Sim stub.
Sim stub. Which one?
Pirate. Natty.
Mm-hmm.
And...
It's worth about $8,000 now. No, mate.
But everything I could get, like I kept. You know, even when I was like 15, 16, 14 even, you'd go in, I'd hang boards. I was hanging boards up back then, you know. So it's just, it's 30 years in the making. They've just, things don't come in at a rapid pace. It's slow if you drag it out over 30 years.
Yeah.
You just keep grabbing bits and pieces, and it's constantly evolving for good and worse. You know what I mean? Depending.
Well, it was interesting. You said to me, so you thought, and I think it's always interesting to get into the psychological idea behind people's collecting, and you were kind of saying that you thought it came from board denial.
I absolutely denied of stuff as a
yeah.
kid, you know, and not being able to have it, and then being able to get it now that you're older. You're just like, you know, if I had more walls, there'd be more boards.
Oh, I think having more walls isn't going to help you. I don't think that's going to be the thing.
Well,
to
they
do.
stack up nice in piles.
They stack up
you know?
nice. Yeah. Well, you know, I think you just have. There's a law. I think there's a law called Boyle's law, which is about gases, and it's about the more room you give certain gases, the more they expand. So I think if we just gave you more walls,
there'd be more boards.
you just have more boards. Yeah.
There would be.
And probably a bit more stress in your relationship, I reckon.
Yeah, but it's my happy place. Like, you know,
It is your happy place. Yeah.
I like sitting around boards. I don't know.
Good thing to tinker around and do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
Going back to skating, back in the day, what were your favourite spots?
The spots. Well, there wasn't a lot. You know, you had, like I said, there was the ramp at Moorabbin, and if we were going to have a day out, well, actually, they had the mini ramp at Torquay in front of Rip Curl.
Yeah.
That was special occasions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a good one. That was a ripping mini ramp.
It was a beauty.
Yeah, I've forgotten about that. That I enjoyed. You know, you have a day out, catch a train down to Paran.
Yep.
You know,
Skate
St Kilda Road was always good.
St Kilda Road on the
Yeah.
Oh,
That was a good spot, and just generally around the city. Back in the 80s, it was good. St Kilda Road was good in the 80s.
Yeah.
There's no skate stoppers or...
No.
And you could, you know, there was really good spots. You know, you could spend the whole day just up and down around the back of St Kilda Road. That was fun. And yeah.
So they were your favourite spots. Any sort of other ones off the beaten track that people didn't kind of go to or know?
There wasn't really much.
Ditches
there wasn't really much. There was a few little ramps that people had in their backyard. I remember Nick Tennant had a grouse ramp.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nick from Boss.
Nick from Boss.
Yeah, right.
He had an awesome little vert ramp in his front yard.
Down here in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Ran in Caulfield.
Yeah, okay.
And for the size I was at the time and the size of that ramp, it worked.
Yeah.
You know, like it was in proportion and you could ride it really good. Yeah. Even though if I got on it today, it'd be tiny.
Yeah, sure.
But, you know, I was
tiny and bumpy.
Yeah,
and,
you know, like, say I'm 6 foot now, I was probably only 4 foot then. You know, 4.5 foot, so it worked.
Did you used to skate a lot from A to B as well? Like,
yeah,
would you
everywhere.
just sort of
Transport, everything. Yeah. Always had a board.
So it wasn't necessarily street skating. You were just going.
No, just going, just on the board. Just always had it with me.
Pop some tricks along the way.
Yeah.
And then would catch public transport to other places.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you have an old favourite spot?
Yeah, I liked the bowl at Paran, just booting around that, doing always out of that, cool. You know, and just because there was always good crew down there, you know, always good skaters too. You could sort of you could skate a bit and just sit down and just see who's progressing where, and you know, the good guys were down at Paran. The best vert skaters were on the ramp at Paran.
Yeah. You'd also see some gnarly dudes coming in, like, you know, older guys, kind of a bit more hardcore, you know, that would come down and sort of blow your mind, do some tricks. Yeah. And then up and coming young people.
And all the tours when they'd come out in the 80s, you'd make sure, you know, all the shop stops and, you know, like Yodgi's.
Yeah, okay.
Pete's shop back in the day.
Which shops did you used to hang out at?
Well, Yodgi's was good because they supported the scene really well. Like, you know, they put back. They were those type of shops, you know. They're not just like some of the shops today that are around. They're not sponsoring skaters, and you know, they're just selling stuff. They're making money, you know what I mean? They're not sort of putting back into the skating.
Yeah.
But there was good shops like that, you know. I've got some fond memories of, you know, in Yodgi's with the Alva team and things like that.
Okay,
you know,
they hanging out in the shop.
Yeah.
I think hanging out in the shop used to be certainly a thing. And I'm from Ballarat.
It was
used
good.
to do it all the time. You didn't have any money.
I could hang out in the shop forever.
Oh, yeah.
Sit in there.
Look in the shop.
That's why it kind of looks like this now, mate, because I can sit in here for ages.
It's no accident that your house looks like a skateboard shop.
Yeah. So,
you're right, and I think there's probably a load of
other
people
you could
have
psychologically break me down and find out where it all went wrong.
Yeah. Oh, not so wrong. Maybe it's where it went right.
Yeah,
you know?
That's it. You know,
so
it's happy.
What does skateboard mean to you?
It's a lifestyle. Like it's like surfing, sort of surfers. You know, it's just cruising basically.
Yeah. What do you get out of it? What do you get out of it now?
Now, well, when I skate now, it's just forget about everything. Yeah. You're having fun. You've got to concentrate. It's going to sting you.
Yeah, it's going
to hurt you. What I mean? So you get a clear head.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a really interesting thing. Someone said that to me about, maybe about a year or two ago now. They said, it must be really good for you sort of just emptying your mind. And I thought, I hadn't really thought about it. And I thought...
No, it empties my mind.
Yeah, fucking know. It's because you're too busy concentrating on
what you're doing. And
you can't think of
You're not thinking anything else. So,
which is really, really good.
But I'm not as bad as I used to be, like back in 2000, where you just lie in bed thinking of how to land tricks and just thinking. You go to the toilet, you're just thinking. I don't do that anymore.
Something a little bit obsessive about
it. Yeah. I'm not that sort of full on now.
Yeah.
I just take it easy and just try not to hurt myself and take my son skating now.
So it's a family thing now?
Well, yeah. Like I'm right back into it. Well, I never really dropped off.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd have gaps of where I wouldn't skate for, 2-3 weeks, and then just go for a little skate, just by myself.
So you're not one of these people who has had like a 20-year gap?
No.
Okay.
No huge gaps. Little gaps, but nothing sort of huge.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, I often find that people have skated all the way through. Excuse me. I think they sometimes skate the best still, I think. The people who have never kind of stopped it or had a hiatus.
But the worst time ever was like the rollerblade days, like when skating died in the 90s.
Can you please call them by their proper name?
Fruity Boots.
Fruit Boots, thank you very much, yes. Why was that the worst time?
Is
that worse than scooters?
Yeah, because at least you go to the skate park now and you might get a couple of skaters. Back then I'd go to Elwood or somewhere just to ride the bowl there, just by myself. There'd be 50 scooters and me. Just getting snaked.
Scooters or fruit booters?
Fruit booters, sorry. They're just as bad as each other.
Yeah.
But just snaking, and it was horrible. Just one out, you know,
Yeah.
like that was a bad time.
Yeah.
But it's the same sort of feeling I got for scooters at the moment.
Hatred.
Like well, no, it's not a hatred. It's like, when are they going to go away? When are they just going to, you know? It's like, what happened to rollerblades? It just went away.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for that now.
Someone spotted a rollerblader the other day.
Yeah, I know,
somewhere,
they're
think.
rare.
Yeah, they're very rare now.
You sort of sit there and look, like, yeah.
I saw one at they opened a park near me, near Glenroy, and there was
I don't want to say anything bad.
Someone came out and they had their fruit boots on and were going for it. And it's like, you know, good for you. It's like, you know.
Was he like a 90s looking emo dude or something?
Well, that's the person who, you know, the people who stuck to Vert when Vert died.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's a really.
He's not evolving.
It's not evolving, no. I think one of the really interesting things about the scooter thing is that, you know,
you need no skill to do it.
well, that's one thing.
At least you had to stand on your fruit boots to
we
rollerblade.
find it really frustrating. I think we find it really frustrating, us old guys, you know, because we like to have an empty bowl, but
and ride the whole bowl.
ride the whole bowl, because we own the world and we're entitled to it. That's right.
It's our time.
And the other thing too is that when there's other skaters there, they kind of don't notice so much. I think they're just used to it, you know. But we want to have the kind of, you know, we don't want any stones in the bowl. We don't want any leaves. You know, we don't want anything slippery. We want it, you know.
But I'm just not seeing the start of the extinction of scooters yet. It just seems like it hasn't. I'm hoping it's hit its peak.
We need something else to come
I
in.
need something to tell me that it's on the down low. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. But at the same time, it does get kids outside and they're not on screens.
And it's hard to yell at a 5-year-old.
It is.
When his dad's standing there.
Oh, no, I think it's easy to yell at the dad, but I often take those opportunities to try and educate the young people about the, the order of what, you know, who goes in what order, and you need to respect other people because it is an opportunity for them to practice their social skills, you know. And
I try to teach him, but sometimes.
You just get a low frustration.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
The not looking factor.
Yeah. So we were talking about skating, you know, it's a lifestyle for you. And you know, it's all, you've done it all along, and it's a bit of a. Do you get much out of it socially?
Yeah, I've met some great people. Like all of my friends are skaters. You know, like I remember, who we go? A mate of mine. It would have been 90. It would have been halfway through the 90s, and he worked for the ABC, and they were doing some TV series, and they had a skater that they were using for stunt shots, and it was Will Stoyles.
Oh yeah, right.
It was Stoyles when he was just a little dude,
yeah,
you know?
right.
And I remember meeting him then, you know, and just all those guys, you know, along the way, and you know, I'm still mates with them all today.
Yeah,
you know, it's good guys. Like if you hang around long enough, you'll bump into everyone along the way.
Yeah,
you know?
And what would you say about the skate community in general?
It's good. It's good. Like I don't know, people think skateboarding's. Like to compare it to an organised sport, it's an individual sport, but you can get so much more out of it, even more than like you can out of a club because everyone's there. You just hang around long enough, you're going to meet people, you're going to know people everywhere you go, and you put the time in, you'll get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like lifelong friends, and everywhere you go, you know people. You know what I'm talking about from just getting around, meeting people. Yeah. It's a massive social side to it. You know.
Yeah. I saw
and just don't be a dick. You know.
What? Don't be a dick.
Well, yeah. It's hard, isn't it?
I think it's the skating. I know when I was much younger. I think that it was I'm sure we were practicing social skills and doing stuff when God knows what we were doing, all sorts of things that weren't great, etc. But we were testing boundaries and all that sort of stuff. But now it's more about catching up with people, and I saw an interesting.
It's more social now. The older we are, like the competitive edge is gone. We're not competing against each other anymore. Like when you were young.
Sometimes I reckon there's a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Well, on who can do the fattest carve around the corner.
Yeah.
That's about it. It's not, you know, like top end. You know,
I reckon you get a few crew together, and it's like you said, it spurs people on, and they start to do. You know, people pull out their bag of tricks, so they try and do shit that they haven't done in ages and end up injured. But
most of us have got to go to work these days. We've got kids, we've got mortgages, and you know, it's like that creeps in the back of the mind. That evil thing that just slows you down. A bit of fear.
Yeah.
It's
healthy fear, maybe.
It's healthy fear. It's just you just don't want to push it and wreck yourself. Like you know, you could do that back in the day. Plus, the body could take it. You know, when you're 45, you don't want to be falling 8 foot on the concrete.
You
You're going to feel that tomorrow.
Yeah. You are going to feel
It's
it.
like,
Who do you skate with at the moment?
at the moment, it's good. Heaps of dudes.
Whereabouts? Me? Where?
Aaron,
Yeah. Whereabouts do you go?
wherever
like,
it's
during the
on,
week?
like actively, like Facebook's made a massive difference to knowing what's going on
Yeah.
where, and you know, I like to go to the skate days with the older guys.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they're good days. Take the kids along. It's a good day out. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, socially, you know most of the guys anyway. Like what we just touched on, you just get around and you know people, and it's good to catch up with them. You know.
So you go skating sometimes. You're lucky because you got your son who's into it, and you go skating with him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then where's your local park here?
We'll go down to Frankston.
Yep.
You got Balnarring,
Yep.
which is
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Edith, what's that one called?
Got me on
I've
Martha
forgotten
down
it.
here?
Not Mount Martha. What is it? Oh, I've forgotten the name of it. It's a good bowl anyway. Halfway between Balnarring and here. Mount Eliza.
Mount Eliza,
How did I
that's it.
forget
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
mate?
yeah.
I've lived here my whole life.
There you go. Thanks very much. For that.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, no, Mount Eliza. Yeah, oh, of course. Yeah. So,
Mount Eliza's good. Like the amount of good.
are you
parts
part of the
that are-
Balnarring guys that go down on Wednesday night?
I'm in that group. I'm just yet to hit up a Wednesday night.
Oh, okay,
It's
right.
hard for me. I pick the kids up from school, want to
sure.
have a beer.
Get on the
you know.
couch,
I'm a
that's
morning
it.
skater.
Oh,
I
you're
like
a
to get up in
morning
the
skater.
morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, that's fair enough. I can get
And then
that.
just get home at like lunchtime, have a good lunch, and then a couple of beers and sit back with my pain.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sit back with your pain. What tricky you want to get back the most?
I know.
Play magic fairy
I want to
dust.
get my kickflip grinds and that going again.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Front side kickflips and backside kickflips, just kickflip stuff, kicky to fakie. You know that's what I had all right at the end.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
okay.
I could do it good, kickflip 5Os on minis, and you know. But I don't know. We'll see.
You
what
don't know.
happens.
You don't
I'll
know.
try one
It
in front of you
sounds
next
ambitious.
time we have a skate.
All
We'll
right.
see what happens.
And what's the trick you love to do the most at the moment?
Oh, just frontside grinds as long
Frontside
as you
grinds.
can. Tail slides, big, round corners of bowls, grinds, curves, and that sort of stuff. That's old man style skating.
It is old man style skating.
That's where I'm at. I'm 45.
When
Give me
you're
a
looking
break.
for some inspiration, what do you do to pump you up?
Watch current stuff, like
Current stuff,
Thrasher Channel,
okay.
some of the stuff that's coming out, street stuff. I like watching Barros and all those guys, just animals in bowls, just flying. That fires me up.
Yeah.
But just the current stuff,
Yeah.
like your Jamie Foy handrails and just that stuff, you just watch it. Or watching skate comps. When I was younger, I just couldn't be bothered watching comps. They dragged on for too long.
Righto.
Now I sit there, live feeds for comps. I'll just sit there the whole day, watch the whole comp, everything.
Gobble it all up.
Gobble it all up. you
Which
know,
brings
just-
us to an interesting topic. Have you been to Bondi before?
No, but I went to Newcastle last year for the Newcastle one.
How was that?
That was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. What do you make of the
Gold Bowl.
information? What do you make of the information about Bolorama being cancelled?
Yeah, that's weird. Like, I've only just heard it's been cancelled, but there was always grumblings along the way with the way that comp was put on, with general pants and all that, and it was all corporate and this and that. So, I don't know. Hopefully it just makes Newcastle better next year.
Right, okay. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it creates a bit of a vacuum too for something else to happen.
Someone might jump in because, you know, it's a good time
Does-
of year. The pros like to come out here. It brings them out and,
Yeah.
you know.
Would,
We'll see.
would
Watch
Bondi
this
be
space.
the most sort of appropriate space for it? I mean,
Yeah,
is
it's
it
a pretty
because of the
glamorous
beach?
spot.
It is a
You know what
glamorous
I mean?
spot.
It's Bondi.
Yeah,
it's all happening
Sydney.
in Bondi. You go down there, it's
Yeah.
good. You know.
Would be interesting. I was thinking this. I was driving the car the other day. I was thinking because is it Western Australia's got an amazing new big bowl? Is it Scarborough? They've got a huge
That's
big
huge.
bowl there.
Yeah.
It would be good. You know, we've got Noble here.
Yeah.
Where else we've got? We've got Torquay.
Yeah.
You know, that would be interesting to see.
We've got heaps of spots.
Yeah,
Compared to
but
the
it'd
day.
be. But I think you're right for the Sydney thing. It's Bondi. It's next to the beach. It's sexy.
works.
There's Brazilian men walking around their tops off,
Yeah.
and women, and you know.
Yeah.
sort of,
Yeah. It's a good spot. So, I don't know. Someone might jump in and fire it back up or do something.
Probably a lot of cost, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep.
So,
That's fair enough.
it's a bit of a shame because it was a good comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about your collecting, dude.
All right.
What do you collect?
Everything. A bit of
Everything.
everything. Like,
A bit of everything.
I don't mind. I'll collect
Let's go back then. So you, one of those people that never stopped collecting or started collecting when you were 15?
Just bits and pieces, yeah, like, 14, 15. And I've still got the first wheels and trucks off that board that I said the boys put me together in the day. I've still got that stuff.
Everything. Wow. That's like ground zero.
Yeah. I've never thrown a single thing out.
Right.
That's got to do with skateboarding.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not a hoarding because I see it's very organised.
No,
I think it's different. Hoarding is not organised, and it's also sort of sometimes risky because you can't get into the house or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was like in the shed. You couldn't get in the shed.
How did it start off? What did you start with, and how's it changed along the way?
It started just. I used to go to the markets like in the 90s. Like when it was dead, when I'd be sitting at the skate park with 5,000 rollerbladers and one skater. So skating was probably at its all-time low. So 92, 93. And I just used to go to the markets like the Trash and Treasures and absolutely clean up. Like you'd have 10, 12 boards every weekend. Like you'd have to go back to the car and throw them in the boot and go back in and get more and more.
Wow.
I remember knocking back like pretty much mint OG setups like Bryce Knights and Jeff Kendalls that were set up. The dude wants $60 for it. And that was too much.
Yeah, right.
Because I was used to paying like $1 for a Dragon and Bats or $1.50,
wow.
$2. Like it was insane. Like Hefty knows that Bonza that he bought off me. I'm not going to say how much. I think that cost me $4.50.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? In the 90s, like that's what the rates were of the boards, and so I just hoarded up so many boards, mate. Like, and then that just dropped off. It was like I just went there one week after a few years, and there was just nothing, and it didn't taper off. It just stopped. Like it was bizarre, and I used to see a few dudes. Like I'd hit the back of the market first, and I'd get halfway through the market and see some dude walking with 2 old school OG boards under his arm. It would just break my heart.
Right. Okay.
I was just like,
it was
got him up there,
it was
mate.
A thing and people were starting to do it.
Dudes started doing it. You know what I mean? And then,
So,
but I was in my own little world. I didn't know anyone else did it. I just did it. I wasn't doing it for. As far as I knew, I was the only person that was doing it.
Yeah, okay. So you just saw these old boards and were going for it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Off my own bat, you know what I mean?
That's cool. So you had, you could only pick out whatever you could get at the market.
Yeah.
Really cheaply, which is fucking awesome. But then how did it take shape? Your collection start to take shape?
Some of the real old boards I used to find, like old timber ones and stuff, you'd get talking. The only people I'd trade with was like the dudes at Globe and Tony Hallam, you know, those sort of guys, you know, and then they'd just swap me, like I'd swap, say a GT or something, and they'd give me a couple of like hookups boards, you know, but the hookups boards then, it was like 2,000, you know, like they're worth probably more than the friggin' GT now, those hookups boards, but there wasn't an industry for it, like compared to today, where you can jump on.
Would you just meet people at the bowl and start talking about it, or
no, not even. Like the trading and stuff was few and far between. You know, like you might do a deal with Hallam and then a deal with the Globe dudes twice. That was it. In 10 years, do 3 deals. You know, compared to today, where you got all these pages with thousands and thousands of members, and it's so once I hit into that scene, I was just like, oh fuck, it's gone nuts. You know what? It's out of control. Like, and the prices were just blowing me away. I was
when were the prices blowing you away? Like,
last few years, 3-4 years, when I've sort of got onto those sites, the skate sites, and so I've just sort of gone, I want to collect something different, you know. So I just went full 60. Let's go back to the start. And get all the cool boards from the 60s, and then try to get cool boards from the 70s. You know what I mean? And so I'm stuck in the 70s now.
With the 60s and 70s things, do you think that's got anything to do with the sort of boards you were finding when you were going and visit your dad's friends in Torquay? Yeah,
they're starting to come in. Like all the fiberglass ones are starting to come in with the 70s. So that's why I was looking forward to doing it, because eventually I'm going to get past all the steel wheels and all that and get those fiberglass boards and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they're in here.
They're in there.
Yeah, they're in here. But yeah, it's
And you
fun.
said I
And
asked
no one
you,
else is really doing it, so it's
the
not like I'm
60s.
competing with 15,000
Yeah.
people for this stuff. It's
Well, I wonder
you
because
know,
maybe
it's
maybe
not
there's-
as brutal.
Maybe there's people that think they're in their own bubble out there now.
Oh, there'd be heaps
still
of them.
doing it.
There'd
you
be
know,
heaps of them.
And I wonder
Yeah.
if the kind of '60s stuff lends itself more to people who surf as well.
Yeah,
Do you know?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where it came from, wasn't it?
absolutely.
So
I just
it's
like if you're going to collect, it's pretty basic chain of thought for me. If you're going to collect boards, you got to have go. Okay, well, there's the first one. That's
Right.
the newest one. That was a cool one. You know,
Yeah.
the evolution. You want to see like where it went from that to that.
Yeah.
You know, and like what happened in
There's a lot
between.
of boards in
Well,
between.
what happened in
isn't it? Yeah.
between? Like,
Yeah.
where did it? So that's what I try to sort of put together. You know, I'm not like just all one thing or one skater,
Yeah.
or you know, it's the whole thing, like
What's your-
museum style.
What's been your favourite board ever to ride and why?
I like the Barros I'm on at the moment.
Do you? Okay, right, okay. Obviously, you're going to say
They just
something
get
like-
better. They just. I remember when I went from like an '80s old school board to a popsicle. Though.
Right.
That was like, shit. You can pull everything off so easy on a pop.
Yeah, I still
You
haven't
know.
ridden a popsicle.
What?
I've never ridden a popsicle.
Really?
No.
Jesus, man.
No, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I don't want to do it. It's changed. I'm an old person.
Yeah, I suppose.
I missed the popsicle era.
Did you?
Like totally. Yeah. I stopped before pop.
I
stopped
refused
just
to
as
go to
popsicles-
pops for ages as well.
Yeah.
I was just like stubborn for years and just kept riding my old school boards, you know.
Yeah.
But then when I actually did it, like, you could just pull everything in so much easier.
This is what
Like,
people
wow.
say. People say, you know,
Yeah.
they're way better.
Mm.
Yeah, I might just have to get one and try one.
Yeah, just
I like the
stuff
look of your
like-
Barros one actually. I
Yeah,
like
the Barros is
concave
good.
one, yeah.
Get your eyes off it.
Excluding the Barros, which I
Yeah.
might take with me when I leave
Yeah.
if I distract you. What other board, like your old school boards? What was like your favourite board to ride?
I left it. Well, yeah, I remember. It was a POW, and it was like, it was a. Had like little hieroglyphics on the bottom.
Oh.
Like guys will know what I'm talking about. It was a rad shape, and I left it at a phone box in Queensland.
And
I was
that's the end of
feeling-
that story.
Yeah, and it was such a good board. It was my Queensland board. Like
Right.
yeah, that was a good one. And then it's so hard to get that board back. Like
Okay.
you see them pop up every now and then, but
I don't know the one. I don't know which one
It's got like little hieroglyphics.
Is it a 90s board?
It would have been 92,
Okay.
93. Yeah.
Right. So if you hear that out there, anyone, you've got one of these boards,
Hook us
Dave
up.
needs it, okay? Yeah. He's got lots of shit to trade
Yeah,
with.
we can do a deal.
Yeah.
But it's only it's not even a pro model. It's just a team board. But you know,
Yeah.
and because I don't like losing. That was a tragedy, mate.
It was a tragedy.
Well,
It was a
that's-
tragedy.
Yeah, it goes back to the denial hoarding thing that
Oh,
like.
the board that got
Yeah,
away.
that's the one that got away. It's not
Right.
finished.
It's not finished. No. How's your partner go with the collecting?
Yeah, so it's always been there since she met me.
Ah,
You know what I
nice,
mean?
I
So
like
it's not
that.
like I've
Yes,
just,
yes,
you
yes.
know, she knows what she bought into.
She read the fine print.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
That's
going
that's a
on
good one.
25 years, so I hope she read the fine print.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
good.
But I mean, I keep it to the rooms. If you
Got
walk
it.
around the house out there,
I
there's,
like it.
you can't see any skate stuff.
Yes,
you wouldn't
yes,
even
yes.
know.
It's kind of
Yeah.
it's lose the battle, win the war.
Yeah, that's
I call it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Keeping the
So-
peace.
Oh yeah,
You know?
absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
So, but if you asked her quietly and no one was around, she'd probably tell you she hates skateboards.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
I
Don't let
understand why.
don't let her talk to my wife then, will you?
Yeah.
They're just gonna egg each other on.
Yeah, that's it. They'll gang up on us. We don't want that.
Yeah. What would be your most expensive skateboard?
Oh, see, I undervalue stuff. It's like the OG's 80s boards. They're just gone stupid prices, you know. But I like
You
that
show
one.
me. Yeah, this one down here. Just hold up for the camera.
That one's pretty good. That's
What
the
is it,
newest
Dave?
one. That's the Power Quicktail from the 70s.
What's it made out of?
Aluminium and plastic.
Yeah. Right.
It's a terrible design. It weighs
It's a
about...
terrible design.
Oh, it's the heaviest skateboard I got.
Yeah. Right.
But I like that one. Just because it's got history, because I like power boards and
Yeah. So that's like their first board.
One of the
One of
first
them, yeah,
ones,
okay.
You know, within the first couple of years of the whole thing starting up. So I like a bit of that stuff.
Yeah,
That's 70s.
that's good.
So, yeah.
With regards to skating now, what do you think about the groups? What do you think about the collecting groups?
They're good.
Yeah,
It's good.
What
It
do you
brings
like?
everyone together.
Yeah.
Most of the players are on it.
Most
You
of
know,
the players
do you know
are-
what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And it's interesting watching what people are going after and all the squabbles and little things. And you get up in the morning and you're just, oh, hello boys, what's going on here?
Oh, so
Do
it's
you know
sort
what I
of
mean?
this train crash entertainment.
Oh,
as
this
well.
train crash, it's got a bit of everything, mate. Once
it's-
you sort of,
it's
because
like the-
once you know who's who and what's going on, and you know, you just
It's like
watch.
the Kardashians,
Oh,
but
it
it's
is,
about
mate.
skateboards.
Yeah, there's
Right.
drama, there's action, there's a bit of everything
It's a
going
drama
on,
and
mate.
action.
You know what I
Nice.
mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's fair
so,
enough. I think it's sometimes a nice way to sort of stay connected with people.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like going out on the group days where people organise
Yeah.
things and they're ripping days. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
So-
And meeting people.
meeting people and the older we get, that's what it all sort of comes down to. You just get older, you're more mellow. You just
think-
want to hang out and
I don't usually like people, to be honest. I like them less and less. But I think the skating thing for me is quite nice because I've got to say the majority of people that you meet in the skate groups, whether they're, you know, it's the boss guys getting together or carve and grind or, you know, the Moss people, or they're usually
genuine
really,
guys. Like
yeah,
you
nice
know,
people. Very, very
all the
nice
dickheads
people.
have usually fallen away at this stage, and the
Yeah.
people that are putting in the effort, you know, most of us have got kids and stuff, and they're great guys, and like I couldn't recommend getting involved in that type of stuff, getting on the groups, finding out where the group days are, and just
Yeah.
get out and get amongst it, mate. It's
Pretty good.
it doesn't matter how good you are, what your ability is. Even if you'd never skated before and you rolled up to one of these days, everyone's going to get behind you. Everyone's going to support you and help you, and you're going to have a ripping day. It's like the no dickheads rule sort of thing. It's everyone's cool, you know.
Well,
No one judges anyone, and we just have a good time. You know?
That's the really cool thing about it. It's really inclusive, and it sounds really PC and shit, but like genuinely, no one puts shit on each other unless it's in a fun way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, unless you know someone pretty well. But you know, it doesn't matter if you're a female. It doesn't matter if you're
Doesn't matter.
of
Abilities.
if you're black. It doesn't matter if
Nothing.
you're Asian. It
Yep.
doesn't matter if you're a kid. It
Yep.
doesn't matter if you're same-sex attracted or not. Who
Age
gives a shit,
doesn't
you know?
matter. We're all the same when we're there. We're all having fun. And
I think probably because we're all maybe black sheep anyway.
yeah, probably.
Do you think? Do you think?
We all got a bit of itis. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, we're not necessarily team sportsmen.
Well,
We're
that's
all-
it. Yeah, we do our own thing, and yeah, it's good. That's where I go back to say, like, people just think skating's an individual thing where but it's not. It's so much more than it's. You know what I mean? It's bigger than that. It's bigger than the footy club, mate.
Yeah.
And
Well, you compete against yourself,
yeah,
don't you? And then you look to others for inspiration.
exactly.
You know, so
It's-
you're competing with
it's-
them, and
yeah.
then there is the social element to it, and
Yeah.
more so as you get older,
As you get older,
because you're
it's
trying
good.
to catch your breath.
But it's the same guys you've grown up with, mate, and all of a sudden you look and you go, geez, I've known that guy for 25 years.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? You know?
I love the mundane conversations you have at the bowls too. Like, you know, so you'll go down for a skate and it's a bit exciting. You get some adrenaline going, you know, a bit of cardio, you know, it's all fun and excitement. And then you'll have really amazing, boring conversations about tax and how to stain
Superannuation.
how to stain your pergola, and you know where to go on a holiday. It's like it's
Dad
great.
stuff.
And then if I get really bored, I just start skateboarding again.
Yeah, well,
You know?
that's the thing. Yeah, it's not rude, is it? You just
No, it's
sort of
not
see
rude.
you
It's my
later.
turn now. But also, you can't sit there and talk too long because you're old and you cool down.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so you got to keep moving. Hey, listen, mate. I think we are going to be getting the wrap up soon. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
You've been told.
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you in your little
Yeah.
den here, and thanks
Pleasure
for the chat.
having you here.
Now, you need to nominate someone for
Alright,
Aaron
he
and
might
us to
be-
go and talk to next.
I had to think about this. He's elusive, but he's gettable.
He's elusive but gettable.
Yeah.
Is he a legend?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
I have a lot of time for this man, and he's
Yeah.
done a lot for the skate scene in Melbourne. And I think he'd be interesting.
Okay.
Johnny McGrath,
Johnny McGrath. There you go.
the original.
Okay.
Johnny Primate.
All right.
So,
So-
get ready.
So there it is. It's been.
I'll help
thrown-
you track him down.
Oh, good. That's good. Well, you've told us our tactic, but don't
Yeah,
don't
I
blow
won't give it
Okay.
away.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks Dave for coming along
Thanks for having me.
or having us, I should say.
Yeah,
Here,
been
your
fun.
joint for a chat. So it's going to be Johnny McGrath next. Thanks everybody for joining in. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.